Hi everyone, and welcome to ABG Investor Days. My name is Nikola Kalanowski, and I'm an equity research analyst here at ABG. With us today we have Nilörngruppen's CEO, Christer Magnusson. Christer will give us a presentation for about 20 minutes, and then we will proceed with a brief Q&A. And with that said, Christer, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I'm sitting here in the office in Borås, the head office. Unfortunately, I couldn't manage to go to Stockholm today, so I hope it will doing that through the Teams. I will, with my presentation, my wish is to give you a feeling of the journey where Nilörn are today and where we're heading to. So I will give you a little bit historical background, the changes we are doing and why, and what is Nilörn unique, and a little bit about our competitors, and so you have a better picture of Nilörn and the future where we are going to. Next. Our vision is to be the best label and branding company worldwide. It has been there for some time. What does that mean? It doesn't mean to be the biggest, but we want to be best in our niche. And when our niche are and so on, I will come back to that a little bit later in the presentation, so you will have an understanding. And also the aim that is with this presentation is where we are when we are the best company. Our slogan, adding value to your brand, has also been for very many years. And I think it's very good because it's clearly say what we are doing, even though the underlying what we do is a little bit different now versus in the past. We are actually, we're adding value to our clients, their brands, and even though it's changed maybe to more to sustainability and so on, we're still adding value. So it's still going strong. Next. The historical overview. We started here in Borås, the head office, and we have built up the company. And during 1990s was a lot of expansion, and the company went to the Stockholm Stock Exchange in 98 to get raising more funds for the expansion out in Europe. Company bought a lot of production units around in Europe, in Germany, Belgium, UK, Portugal, Denmark, and Sweden. And of course, what happens then was that so we produced the labels in Europe and shipped them to Asia because all the garments manufacturers were situated in Asia. And then, of course, competition from Asia became too intense. So in the beginning of 2000 and to like 2010, between there, it took a lot of cost closing down the production in Europe, and those units has become our sales operations in Europe now. So in 2010, we changed the focus to be much more client-driven, more sales-driven, and we changed to MD at that time, and the company was delisted in 2009, and with Traction as a major shareholder. So we became a much more client-driven, much more sales-focused, and we opened up sourcing and distribution offices around in Asia, as it mentioned here on the slide, like in Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, Shanghai, and Turkey. And we also started off with sales conferences and build a culture within the group. And I think that is also one thing that is really unique with the Nilörn. We are quite an international company with subsidiaries in 15 countries, but we are like a family. We are only 580 employees. Not saying that you know everyone by name, but we have got a really good culture within the group, which is quite unique. And also the goal is not to be a production company, still to be very client focused and smooth towards the client. And by not owning so much own production, we can also follow our client around in the world where they are producing. The trend we see now is clients moving back to Europe mainly from China, and if we were to get stuck a lot of own production in China, that would cost a lot of money. We still have some production. I'm coming back to that a little bit later. Next. I used to say that when we had our own production, that was Nilörn 1.0, then we were very much decentralized with sales operations all around in Europe, and also established our sourcing operations, Nilörn 2.0. And then we were hit here by the COVID, as you can see, and in 2019 was a bit slow than 2018, and then the COVID 2020. And the trend we also seen where you have the arrow is very much focusing on the sustainability, the CSR. We employed a sustainability manager 6 years ago. That was the first movement in the CSR area. And the client we have is mainly brand owners, and quite many in the sports sector, which are very much focused on the CSR. And that will also be more of that in the presentation I have to you today. And so we have done quite big changes within the group in terms of the CSR and to have skills within that area. Next. So what have we done? Yeah, in starting here from the beginning to 2020, we've done a lot of structural changes. We have done setting up a sourcing operation. We have employed a sourcing manager. That's something we didn't have in the past. We set up more people, both in CSR, both in Europe, but around in Asia, in different countries. Sustainability manager I mentioned. And we have got persons in compliance now, employed persons working in compliance. Why should we have a compliance person within Nilörn? I mean, all this is client driven, and people, especially in packaging and so on, which is an area we are focusing as well. There are a lot of focusing on compliance that we are helping out our client now. Material, also sustainable driven, finding out new material, less impact on the environment. Packaging is an area that we have tried quite a long time ago, but not really succeeded in that. If we're doing that differently now, instead of just employing one person doing everything, we are taking a bigger grip on that. So we have set up a team about packaging, and that fits also quite well with the e-commerce trend and also in the sustainable area, because we are helping out our client in this area as well. We are doing also a lot of focusing on systems to be able to be good within CSR, and we need to know what material and so on we are producing the different articles in. We also need to know and follow up our suppliers. We need to know the key performance indicators and so on. So that is something we also spend quite a lot of resources lately, and that we will continue to invest in that as well. Activity plan is that we are working much more structured in sales. In the past, each sales company invented the wheel themselves and very decentralized. Now we try to help the sales companies. We give them a toolbox how to perform, and there will be more acting as advisor and not less the traditional sales. RFID, yeah, is coming. And that means that we have built up the organization. We've done quite some investments, and we set up new offices as well here in Spain and in Italy. And we're more structured in terms of marketing, and we have won new clients. That is what we have done. Next. And the aim is to reach with all this structured work, and we're doing here is to go to Nilörn 3.0, and we try to be a little bit more structured in the way we're operating, a little bit more centralized, but still to have the innovative and flexibility towards the client. So we try to catch the best of the both worlds. We're working on being very transparent and creative, fast, modern, and reliable. All this, the client should feel this when we are ready with this, the 3.0. So we're working hard on this, and fast and modern and reliable. Reliable is a word which we are working within the group now. So people should feel that Nilörn as a supplier is a reliable supplier. Next. Next. Yes, unique selling points. In the past, it was always design that was the unique selling points. It's still very, very important for us. It's still one of the unique selling points, but it's now even more into the sustainable area. We see, and that is also client-driven. This is what they want, and this is what they need the help of. And that is also technical, goes also hand in hand. We're building up system now, providing information to our client through our web order system. Instead of them asking for information, we will provide them with the information to make it easy for them. And I think, and I'm quite sure that if we manage to do this will be a good competitive advantage for Nilörn. Relatively, especially relatively our smaller competitors that don't have the resources. Next. And here is the rest of the unique selling points. Responsive, we need to be quick. Our distributions around in Asia, we are looking to some more countries now. Our web order system I mentioned, and the unique staff. And I think that we have managed really good in getting these teamwork in the group. Not too big, not like a super big company, but still have this consistency in quality, and that is still very, very important. Next. Our sustainable journey. This we started in 2019 when we made our first sustainability report, and this is areas that we as a group focusing on the client, product and supply chain and employees and all the areas around that. So we're doing a work now in for 2023 and the sustainable report that will be even more. Next. Product description. This is where we are coming from. This is our traditional with the labels and all sorts of labels from woven, textile, hangtags, etc. This is core Nilörn, you can say. Next. And we're now heading into packaging and accessories. That was I mentioned earlier. The packaging, I mean, it's probably not so much brown plain boxes we're doing. It's more, as you can see on the picture here, more design boxes where you have shirts and so on. We're also doing quite a lot of recycled poly bags in the sustainable material. Next. Another area that we see is coming more and more is the RFID, and coming back to that a bit more in the next slide. But here on the left-hand side, you can see what we supply. This is the label, and including an antenna and a chip, which is readable. We don't provide the hardware and we don't provide the software. There are other suppliers doing that, but we supply the labels and we program the labels. Next. And why is RFID essential? It's more than just it is pre-sales for the whole logistics chains for the client to have control of their logistics change. And within RFID and also within packaging is slightly lower margin but bigger volumes. A box costing much more money than just a small label. Next. Here is also now we have developed, it's a Nilörn Connect. We see a trend here also within the sustainable area that when you as a client buy a garment and then you receive it home and then you can read the QR code and then you can read about the garment, where that is produced and the information that that you will see on this in your mobile phone in this example, it's up to the client where they want to, and they can also change this information during the way. So, and they can also show it to the garment owner here in what factory the garment has been produced, what it contains, and the carbon footprint and so on. And this can be either through QR codes or NFC chip. So it's different techniques for that. Yeah, next. It's a little bit slide about competitors and the different competitors we have. We ABGSC is the biggest in the world. We are in slightly different customers, they are focusing on the really big one like H&M and so on. We as Nilörn, we are in the step below with more brand owners. And I think also in this climate it can be an advantage if you see that retailers, they are the one suffer quite much in the current climate. But Nilörn is focusing very much on the brand owners. So I think that is also good going forward to know. Trimco Group has bought Atex, that used to be or still is one of our major competitors. It's a Danish company. They were bought by a Swiss company and then a Chinese group, Trimco, and then just recently sold, what I read here, to an American company, Brookfields. So they consist of 3 companies, Clotex, Labelon, and Atex, this group. And they are then sold here, what I heard. Yeah, I will not go through all this. CCL bought Checkpoint. Both CCL is Canadian, Checkpoint is US. Cadica Italian. Yeah, Rudolf Haag is our Swedish friends here in Borås. Manetti Italian. Yeah. Here, I didn't know if I should add this slide or not. This is just for, but I thought it were good to give you a view on the x-axis. You have production and logistic. If Nilörn, we don't have so much own production. It's like 15% what we produce is own produced. And logistic area, there are countries that we're not into. We are looking to establish now own office in Vietnam. We are operating through our partners so far in Vietnam, but we are in quite well in Asia. We are also looking for Central America here as well. That can be, but we think, and then on the y-axis, you have the value added for product and services. And here, what we are aiming for now is moving further up on this axis. So we see the future here coming more and more up northeast, you would say, to be even more giving more service to our clients in terms. And I think the trend we also see, I mean, in the past we were selling labels. It's more and more coming into it, giving advice and supporting our clients, and all with this in the sustainable and in compliance and the regulations, and helping them providing information to their end users and so on. So we are more service provider. So yeah, we're moving up north directions. The other should symbolize, the competitors next. Yeah, core values. We used to have 7. We decreased this to 3. I want all the employees within the group knowing what we should stand for. Innovations. We want to be in the forefront, be seen as an innovative companies, finding new way of doing, and be innovative and be in the forefront. Respect. We are in 15 different countries, a lot of different religions, culture, and so on. So the respect is crucial. And responsible to take action. The employees within the group should take action and be responsible for what they're doing. So this is the part of the culture, and we are building. Next. I will not go through this in detail. You've seen this probably in the past, that Q2 and Q4 are the main important quarters. And next. And here is similar, the historical for the result. Next. Here is about the key financial indicators. We are up to 579 employees, quite many of them in production and logistic, but we also increased number of employees now supporting organization in sourcing and the different areas. We are, as you can see, an operating margin now per end of September accumulated 16.4. Historically, we've been before 2021, we're around 10 to 12%. You can say the last 12 years. and now the last year we outperformed quite well. Will we continue to do such a good performance, or will it go down? I think it will be tough to be on this high level going long forward. Next. And yeah, then just a very short summary here. You can see the turnover. If you're looking at the 12 months rolling numbers, we're very close to the 1 billion goal we have. The best year we ever did before pandemic was 2019 with 780 million, and the operating profit was 162 million, where we pre-pandemic made an operating profit of 85, which was the best year ever then. So we almost doubled the best year ever before the pandemic. Not really, but almost, yeah. I've gone through these new countries. We see, I mean, we've been growing a lot in first we've been also big in the Nordic countries. We've grown quite a lot in UK, and then last year much in Germany, but now we see trend towards Italy, France, and Spain, and also now starting in US. Next. Yeah, next again. Yeah, the financial targets set by the board. We should have annual growth of excess 7% and operating margin of at least 10 to 12%. Yeah, and I think looking at the historical number, we outperformed that quite well. But that is a good target set by the board. Yeah. Next. Yeah, we're doing everything here. I mean, I think we need a satisfied client, customers. That is the goal, and if we do get that, we will also get the profitability with us. And we are working hard to make Nilörn attractive and as an investment for you all. Thank you. That's it for now.
All right. Thank you very much for the presentation, Christer. I thought that we can follow up with just a brief Q&A and then finish off this presentation. So my first question would be, given that the retail sector has been one of the first sectors to face the consequences of inflation, and also given that operationally you've done very well thus far, what kind of behavior are you seeing in the retail space, and what is your outlook for 2023?
Yeah, and I think as you're right on it with the retail sector. I think many retailers at the moment they are sitting with quite much stock, but I also think what the beauty with Nilörn is that we have, as I mentioned earlier, that we have retailers, but we also have quite many of our clients is brand owners, and they are I don't think they are affected that much as the retailers. And how will that? But of course we will be affected in the future, and I think for 2023 it's a quite big uncertainty in the market what happens, and I think that is the most crucial point. Also, if you take a parallel to the pandemic, I remember when I became the CEO in the spring 2020, there was such a big uncertainty in the market, and everyone was scared, and then there was quite a big bounce back. Not taking too much parallel to that, but I think the uncertainty is there at the moment. So we will see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think that we all are curious to see what will happen in 23, whether we will get a bounce back like in the pandemic or not. We will simply see.
And also, I mean, there's also, I mean, if now the retail is sitting with too much stock and they be too cautious again, and with the risk that they are ending out of no stock, it goes the biggest swings. I mean, from ups and downs at the moment, I think.
Absolutely. And so you sit on a net cash position now, and that gives you options in today's economy. What is your view on distributing cash to shareholders versus I guess, investing in growth. What is your view on that?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I mean, it's not my decision if we dividend and so on, it's the board, but I think it can open up opportunities for us now. We both in own expansion in our own factories, but also looking for acquisitions and so on. We are working on that, not saying that we have something that will be announced today, but we are working on that, absolutely.
Excellent. Well, we have run out of time, but thank you very much, Christer, for presenting to us and taking this Q&A, and for the audience for listening. Thank you very much.
Fine. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.